Disclaimer, this is not an advertisement for Nissan, nor was I paid for this. But it's gonna be ugly. Just saying. Let's get on with it. Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to go over one of my favorite questions that I get asked ever since I bought this GTR. So, for those of you that don't know, I had a Dodge Challenger Hellcat prior to this car. The Hellcat I owned from April 1st, 2016 to May 27th, 2019. And it's just a question that everybody asks, what's better? Do you like the Hellcat or do you like the GTR? And today we're going to go over what I prefer, and I hope you guys can have some insight from this and kind of make up your decision if you're in the market for one of these two vehicles. I know they're kind of in the same price point. Basically, you could probably get a newer Hellcat for cheaper, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, we're gonna go over my personal reasons of which one I choose just because I own both of them. So let's go over some of those reasons. So first and foremost, the one thing that stands out is power delivery to the ground. The Hellcat failed on all levels in that aspect of things. I had it at the drag strip 3 or 4 times, and it was a constant struggle to get the power to the ground. You would sit at the tree, you would go, and it was like you had to be full on feather mode just to get it to grip and go down the track. I was running constant like 11.2 to 11.7 in my first few times on the strip with it. I was running 12.7, 12.6. And granted, it was a hot day, but like not what Dodge claimed. So it was just very disappointing. It's like you have this so-called monster that it just doesn't deliver. And I love Dodge, don't get me wrong. I'm a constant, like, I'm a kind of a fanboy of Dodge and what they do with their styles and whatnot. But it's just like they play the numbers game. They bark up that tree like, oh, look at the low times we get on the quarter mile. How much horsepower we have, and this and that and the third. And all reality is, it means nothing. It means if you know what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't mean anything unless it can constantly do it on a constant basis. Like, consistency is key. And the same thing with the Demon. What a huge disappointment, I guess you could say. Like, videos I watch, people are just pissed off because it only runs, it'll do a 10.9. This thing will do a 10.9. Like, come on, Dodge, like, get with it. It's like, stop BSing and just say what it is. Just, it is what it is. Stop using perfect conditions, perfect this, perfect that, and just do it. Just give them the raw numbers, give it on an average day, an average temperature, average DA, whatever. Just be real with it. I mean, that's the best thing, and then you won't have people disappointed and pissed off at you. But anyway, done with my rant. That was just a constant thing. It just didn't deliver the power to the ground. And the GTR just excels at that. It doesn't even chirp the tires when you launch the damn thing in its stock form, which is satisfying. I mean, but it's just so much better off the go than the Hellcat was, and it just bar none. So that's I guess you could say reason number one. I'm not making a specific list or number count or whatever of this, but I just wanted to just inform you guys basically after owning both. And the next reason I prefer the GTR is, obviously, you guys should know this, it handles a whole hell of a lot better. It feels like a race car. I went over that in my previous videos. It's just raw. It's just raw, and it just out to kick some ass. That's what it is. And it's like, you can tell, like, I had a Hellcat leave with me after a Cars and Coffee I believe it was last weekend, and you could tell he didn't even want to look over at me because he was scared. He was scared, but all I could do is just be in awe at the exhaust. Now that's one thing. Sorry, there's some like dude on a bike and his stereo is extremely loud. But one thing I do miss, this is another thing, one thing that I really do miss after being next to that Hellcat at the same Cars and Coffee is definitely the exhaust. I miss the V8 sound, I really do. That's like, I'm an addict of that. I miss that, and that's just one thing that I can't get with the GTR. Although the turbo spool, it makes up for it a little bit. But then you throw on it the supercharger whine. What a decision that is. I was a big advocate of the supercharger because it was an instant power delivery, but there's a lot of cons with that as well. So with the supercharger, if something blows up, oh well, there goes the entire block. With a turbo, at least you can be saved a little bit. So yeah, it's just this it decimates it. I'm sorry to say it. And this is coming from a hardcore fanboy of American muscle. Just lived it, breathed it, ate it, drank it, slept it, whatever you want to call it. And I got in this thing, and I guess you can say I've been converted. I really have never been more pleased with this. Like I would have never thought that I would have liked it as much as I do. We'll just put it that way. And if you're in the market for a Hellcat, it's great for just driving around town and just hammering on it and wanting to be stupid. Like that's exactly what it's good for. And it is a crazy car. Don't get me wrong. Like it does. I think it does pull harder from the higher gears, and I think that's just due to the supercharger. But it's wicked top end. And I will say that about it. It does feel faster in the higher gears than the GTR, but you know, they each have their quirks, and they each have their positive bringings, I guess. And personally, it's just for me, it's not even close. Like the Hellcat was basically like riding in a Cadillac until you floored it, and then you just awoke in the beast, and it's just ridiculous. But you just don't feel like you're in something that means something, or that it is just ready to be like, it's just not in attack mode. So this is just some of the things that I've noticed, and it's just hard to put in words sometimes, like what you're thinking and trying to say it. It's just guys, it's the GTR. It's 100% the GTR, and I hate when it gets skewed that people think that the Hellcat would whoop on this thing. Like a lot of guys that I work with think that, oh, why'd you get rid of the Hellcat? And then you went and bought a freaking Mitsubishi. Like, I mean, obviously they're kidding, but they seriously thought that the Hellcat would outperform this. But the realism from driving both, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And like you'll see videos online and stuff, and I hate when people do this, like Hellcat versus GTR, and it's like a 1500 horsepower Hellcat and then a stock GTR. Like, I hate that. Just both of them stock. Both of them stock. It's done. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. GTR will smoke it, and I stand by that. So both amazing cars. If you're just into American muscle, and that's just your, I guess you're set in your ways, and that's what you're gonna do, and not like expand your horizons and go to something different. Well, Dodge does a very good job of keeping that mold of American muscle, just heavy, big, and can't handle worth a bleep. So that's my rant, and that's my opinions on Hellcat versus GTR. I own both, and I wasn't even necessarily a fanboy of the GTR. I just loved the way they looked, and I've always wanted one, and finally I was like, you know what, I'm bored with the Hellcat, and that says something. I just got bored with it because it was just, it just got boring. Just smoking the tires all the time is ridiculous. Like, if some of you might think that sounds like, it was just boring, I guess. It just got old. Where this, you can have fun with it all the time. So those are my reasons why, if you're in the market, you should buy a GTR at or a little bit above or below a Hellcat price. So, also another thing too, resale value. My 2016 Hellcat, I traded it in with 30,000 miles on it, I believe, and I'm lucky I did it when I did, because since then, like since May, the prices have plummeted. Like, you're now seeing like them for under 40, which is insane. And the GTR, you'll kind of hold your value, and I feel like it's going to be that way for a long time. So that's just another like food for thought kind of thing. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, you might pay a little bit more for the GTR, but in the long run, I wouldn't call a car an investment, please. Like, don't, it's not that, trust me. I know from experience it's not an investment. So just keep that in mind. Just know that your money goes farther in this than it wouldn't in a Hellcat. So that's all I got, guys. GTR smokes it. That's it. Thank you guys for watching this, and I hope it helps you out on a decision if you have to make one. So hit that bell button, subscribe, like, comment, do what you gotta do. Let's follow this channel. Let's get to 1,000, and let's do some crazy stuff, because I need some motivation from you guys to do some crazy things. I'm tired of like standing in a freaking school parking lot like a weirdo with nobody around me because I have no motivation, because I don't get any input from you people. Let's roll. Let's go. We'll see you guys on the next one. I better. Peace. That one freaking sucked. Still gotta get better at this. I ain't even doing it. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.